everybody, it's VGB, y'all know me, and today I'm back with another video. So I am 2 weeks postpartum. Today I have my baby girl here with me, and I am going to be talking about my birth story with you all. It was an adventurous birth story, so if you are interested in listening to my birth story, then stay tuned. I will start the night before. If you all haven't seen my visualizing my birth video, then I have been practicing visualizing my birth, getting my birth space set up, like walking through everything, practicing like meditating, my Christian words of affirmation, listening to different books and everything. So yeah, when I went into labor, it was pretty much like what I had been practicing, what I had been praying for and everything like that. And I went into labor the night before, in the middle of the night. So I guess they were lasting like 20 minutes apart at first. And I called my midwife when they got to around 10 minutes apart. And I called her because she wanted to know, like, she told me if I start to have contractions around 10 minutes apart, she wanted to know because I was on my third baby, and she said those were wild cards. And so, you know, you never know what's going to happen, if the baby's going to come super fast or super slow. So I called her in the middle of the night, like, hey, I'm having contractions around 10 minutes apart, and I just wanted to give you a heads up. She said, like, do you feel like I need to come or anything? And I said, no, like, you know, I'll just continue to labor, and if it starts to get too intense, I'll call you so that you can come and check me or whatever. But I feel fine, you can stay at home and rest, because it was in the middle of the night. And I had my mom there, which, oh my goodness, thank God for mamas. Like, so she stayed up with me, and she was so ready for her to come too. So she like stayed up with me and helped me count my contractions. And no, she did not use the contraction app. She was literally writing the contractions down. And yeah, so she stayed up with me till like 4 o'clock in the morning. And then she tossed the baton off to my husband, but my husband remained asleep. So she went to get rest, thank God. And I called, when she left, I called my midwife back. Maybe I might have labored maybe like another hour or two without her like falling asleep in between contractions or whatever. And I called my midwife, and I think at that point they were around 7 to 10 minutes apart, still like not consistent with the time range. But I called her again, like, hey, can you come and check me? You know, they're getting pretty intense. And so she came around 8 o'clock. I also text my photographer and my doula. And so, yeah, so I text them and asked them if they could come or whatever. And at this time, I'm like, you know, really meditating and breathing and speaking my words of affirmation. Like, that was huge. It helps, you know, and it lets you see like your mind is a powerful thing. So I definitely recommend the book Supernatural Childbirth, and also I will link my Christian words of affirmation if you're interested in those. But the ones that really stuck with me during my labor was I can do anything for minutes. I think it's his strength is made perfect in my weakness. And then I could do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That was one that really stuck with me too. And like, I was thinking that I would be able to like remember all of them, but those are the ones that like really stuck with me. And so when they would come, I would like say those, and I feel like that was enough time for me to like really get through the peak of the contraction. But yeah, so it was pretty peaceful in here. Like, I had my words of affirmation going, I had my essential oils going, clary sage, frankincense. I really liked this scent essential oil mix that's called Clean Sweep. I had that going, and then I had some South African music playing in the background, which was really soothing and relaxing. And yeah, so I had my faith built up. I had been practicing, just fully relying on God. Oh yeah, and then me and my mom, I believe we got on to our prayer line. It's at 4:30 in the morning. We had also done that. So I guess she left around 5. Yeah, she left around 5. And then yeah, I called my midwife around 7. It was just it was a vibe. It was a vibe. If you haven't seen my visualizing my childbirth video, then definitely check that out, because that's pretty much what was going on in here. I just didn't yoni steam. I think I had yoni steam maybe 2 days before I went into labor. But yeah, because the night before, I think I was cleaning and stuff, getting my room situated. But everything else I pretty much did. That was in my visualizing my childbirth video. I took a warm bath, and that was so nice. The water like definitely relieves the pressure. My boys went off. My father-in-law took them to school that morning because it was a Thursday when she was born. So he took them to school that morning, and it was perfect because they were at school, like perfect time to give birth, especially because of like everything that happened. I'm glad they were not here. My cousin got us these matching little outfit. Well, she wants this arm out. She likes sleeping with her arms like right next to her like that. It's so cute. So I think my midwife might have got here around like 8:30 to come and check me. And my doula and my midwife, they know each other, so they got there at the same time. And then my boys were leaving out. So my midwife did a vaginal check, and she checked me, and I was 4 centimeters dilated. And so she said, like, I don't want to like stick around, and or she didn't really say she didn't want to stick around, but I could kind of get the vibe like she didn't really want to stick around and watch me progress to 10. So she asked me like if she needed to stay or if I wanted her to stay, and I'm like, I don't really know, like that's, you know, that's your call. I mean, I'm going through these contractions, like if you want to stay you can stay, if you don't, you know, that's fine. I can't hold you here. So so she left or whatever to get some work done, and she said she was gonna be staying like close by because she lives like far out in the country. So I said okay, but my doula asked me if I needed her to stay, and I was like yes, like please stay with me and like help me get through this. Like my mom was tired. My husband is my husband, and you know, he's a blessing in certain ways, but like being a birth partner in the sense of like being calm and like helping you get through it, that is just not his strength. So but he was here, but I was happy to have my doula here, and we just like both sat, and I was sitting in my rocking chair, and I was kind of just rocking and trying to like rest as much as possible, because I know it's a marathon, like giving birth and everything. So I was just trying to like maintain my energy. My mom got up again and made me breakfast because they said I needed to eat to have strength as well. And so yeah, my doula just kind of sat here and she continued to like count my contractions or whatever. And like, so I guess this is an important part. When I'm laboring, I don't know what it is, like, first of all, supernatural childbirth, that book is a blessing, like, and so that really helped me get into the mindset of, you know, of birthing, and how like it doesn't have to be scary. It can be something, you know, is like beautiful from heaven, and it doesn't have to be painful and all of this stuff. Yeah, so I'm not the type to like just like scream, I guess. That's just not the type of way that I labor. And so instead I'm like super peaceful, like just trying to go through it, trying to get through it, like breathing as much as possible. Like it takes my full focus, and I feel like screaming, like, and it doesn't even, like, honestly, it doesn't, for me, it doesn't even feel like you need to scream. It's just a wave, it's just a pressure, like, that you just gotta mentally get through. And like the more you relax, I feel like the better it is. And like focusing on saying those affirmations and breathing and just realizing that on the other end of this is a beautiful baby. And so like all of that helps to get you through the contraction, and I feel like screaming like takes so much from that. And that's just my personal opinion. So screaming was like never an option for me. So when I was laboring with, well, I had a couple of contractions when my midwife was here, and that's what really made her comfortable with like leaving or whatever, because I was just kind of chill through them, like didn't make any noise at all, was just quiet, like might have put my hand up like, okay, can't talk right now, and just breathe through it, and then I was able to get through it, and it felt like nothing after the contraction was over. And I was doing the same thing with my doula, so I don't think they really thought I was in like real full-blown labor or whatever. So when my doula was here, I was doing the same thing, like breathing through everything. The only thing is when I was talking to her, I would like stop talking to her in the middle of our conversations, because she's super cool and I enjoy talking to her or whatever. So well, like I would just stop our conversation, and that was pretty much it. Like it wasn't anything crazy. So it was just a relaxing atmosphere here. We were talking and chatting and stuff, and I was eating my breakfast. And I had finished that, and I had a couple of more contractions. I was like walking around. She told me to like walk around and see if I can like pick things up or whatever. So I was walking and having the contraction. So I was getting a little like tired or whatever. After she had told me to get up and walk, I walked for a little bit, had some contractions, told her I was having a contraction, and that's when I was getting tired. So I sat back down in my rocking chair. And then I was still continuing to have those contractions, but I was tired, so I would like go to sleep in between them and then wake up and have the contraction and then go back to sleep. And so I'm thinking she was thinking that it would take a lot longer. I also thought it was going to take a lot longer. Like I was expecting more, because I had 2 hospital births and with my 2 boys, and epidurals with both of them. So I didn't really know what to expect with this home birth, and the intensity of everything, and like how much more intense everything was gonna get and everything. So she got hungry. We were actually like talking about food together. I was telling her like the best places to go and eat and get food, and she said she liked Thai and she was craving some boba, so I told her like the best places in our town or whatever to get that. And so she left, and I might have labored for like another, I don't know, hour, and I was here, and my husband would come and check on me or whatever, and then leave, because I was like, he had like all of this high energy, and I was just like in relaxed mode. So I don't think I was too mean. Hopefully I wasn't too mean, but I would just be like, okay, I can only handle but so much of that. And my mom was exhausted from helping me count the contractions like the night before, so she was like on my bed sleeping. And I told y'all, like, I don't like labor loud or anything. I don't scream or anything like that. I'm pretty calm and just relaxing through everything. So I was just relaxing through my contractions or whatever, My mom was laying on the bed. My husband would like come and check on me here and there, but I felt the urge to like have to poop or whatever, so I went and sat on the toilet, and just sitting on the toilet, like, it feels so good. It's like the perfect, I don't know, the perfect position for birth, or like helping things progress or whatever. So I was sitting on the toilet, and I felt like I needed to poop, but I didn't poop that time, I don't think. But it did feel good. So then I came back and sat down. I think I did that once when my doula was here too. Like, went to go sit on the toilet, see if I had to poop or go pee. She had told me to go pee, so I did do that while she was here too. And so when she left, I went again, and it felt good to just sit on that toilet. And then I think I got up and went and came back and sat on my chair again, and I might have had like 2 contractions here, sitting on this rocking chair. And then I was like, no, the toilet feels better. So I went back to the toilet, and then I think I did release my bowels that time in the toilet, and like was having contractions, so I just stayed there. Like I didn't have enough energy to like wipe or anything. I just stayed there, and was just going through the contractions, and they were like back to back to back to back to back. Whew, I was just like, I was breathing, but my breathing got more intense. And they were just like, it didn't give me any like time in between. It was like a wave pool. This is how I would like to explain labor. Like, imagine a wave pool, right? Early labor is like being able to sit at the front of the wave pool, you know, where it's super shallow. You're just sitting there chilling. A little something kind of comes and, you know, hits you a little bit. That's like Braxton Hicks early labor, and then you just go further out to that wave pool until you're in the deep end. And the deep end is where you get the most action, and you're just, I mean, in order to stay on top of it, you gotta know how to swim, you gotta know how to float, and you know, you gotta be trained for that type of stuff. Like, you gotta be trained to know how to swim. Like, if you don't know how to swim, don't go out into the deep end. So like, I feel like when you're pregnant, it's really good to like train your mind and to practice, I guess, for this moment, this moment where you're gonna go all the way down into the deep end. And being on that toilet felt like I was like in the deep end, and the waves were not stopping, and they just kept hitting me. But thank God, like, I feel like I was prepared, like I have been prepared for this moment. I'm so grateful, like, to God that He gave me strength. Like, He showed me all the right resources, pointed me in all the right directions, so that I could be prepared for this moment. And it was not with my own strength, it was all Him. Through this transitional moment, through this transition of birth and everything like that. So I was sitting on the toilet, the contractions were going to back to back to back to back to back, and I was sweating bullets, sweating. So my husband had called my father-in-law to come and fix him lunch or bring him lunch. So he would go eat his lunch, come and check on me on the toilet, go and eat his lunch, come and check on me on the toilet. But he was so cute because he was like so nervous, he didn't know what to do. And he would like scratch his beard or whatever, and be like, I don't really know what to do, I can't talk, she don't want me to talk, like, what do I do or whatever. So he would like come and check on me and leave, come and check on me and leave, come and check on me and leave. And so when he was coming and checking on me, like, I couldn't talk. It was so much that I wanted to tell him. Like, I had my comb that I really wanted to use. I heard that the pressure points of the comb, like squeezing the comb, like, because your hand is closer to your brain than your uterus is, that the pain from your hand will hit your brain first. So I wanted I wanted my comb. I couldn't tell him that I wanted the comb. I wanted him to run me some bath water so I could get into the water. I couldn't, the contractions were coming so like back to back to back that I couldn't tell him anything that I wanted to tell him. Like I was fully present and knowing what I wanted, but I couldn't tell it to him. And like I wish my midwife when she left would have left the pool so that I could have, like we could have at least had that, so I could have like threw myself in there once things got intense or whatever. And had that set up, but you know, you live and you learn. So so anyway, they were going back to back to back to back to back, and I'm thinking about all of these ways that I could like minimize the pressure that was coming, but I couldn't say anything. I couldn't, you know, communicate because everything was so strong, so I wasn't able to like tell anyone. But I'm glad like up until that point I was able to, I had like pain management situations around my house just with the essential oils, just the relaxing atmosphere and everything like that. So I did, like I was prepared up until like the transitional point. I feel like I had relied too much on outside resources versus like having that prepared for myself as well. But lesson learned. I will have up until the birth, if I am to birth again, I will have everything up until the birth, like everything prepped, everything, like that's just my personality, and I feel like it helps to be prepared. So I'm not leaving nothing up to chance, not relying on nobody but God from here on out. And that's just lesson learned on my part. Me and my friends back in college used to say, we're gonna frog it, fully rely on God. So yes, it was just me, God, and my baby girl up in that toilet, up in that bathroom. I guess you call it water room, the toilet room in your bathroom or whatever. It was just us in there. And my husband would come in here and there, but he was just so nervous about, like, you know, disturbing my peace that he wouldn't stay long. And he didn't really know what to do. So anyway, he, I guess, had the strength enough once when I was in that transitional mode to like lift up my skirt and check me, or just see if he could see anything. And he said like I looked like I was 10 centimeters dilated just looking. And he was just like, whoa, that's a big hole there. And he told me like, I think your water's breaking. And I was like, no, like just get out. Like I just kept like pushing him out or whatever. And he was like, okay, well if your water's been breaking, then whatever. But I wish he had been like, no baby, your water's breaking, you look like it's 10 centimeters. Let me call the midwife. But everything happens for a reason, and I'm trying to come to peace with my birth and my birth situation and how like the last part went. But anyway, so I'm having these back to back contractions on my toilet. And so then I just throw myself on the floor because I'm like, I do not want to have my baby on the toilet. Like my boys come in here and pee on the floor too much, pee on the wall, pee on the floor. Even though I cleaned it, like I do not feel comfortable having my baby in this bathroom. So I like just like threw myself out onto the floor right beside my tub, which I wish, and I'm still thinking about that tub, like, oh, why couldn't I just get in there? Like I wanted to get in there so bad. But I just threw myself on there, and I made like two primal sounds, and a lot happened in these short minutes. So like I threw myself on the ground, and I felt the urge to push or to poop. So I threw myself on the ground and made like I feel like a primal noise, like oh, like it was a deep moan situation. So that was when I felt like my vocal cords needed to help me with that. So anyway, I made like two of those deep primal noises and she was out. So I threw myself on the floor. Like, let me backtrack a little bit. I threw myself on the floor and my doula came back and was like, oh my God, I think she, like, this is it. Like, we're about to have a baby. Like, this is showtime. And thank God she's like training to be a midwife as well. So she's like fully capable to help me birth or whatever. And she had said that before she left too. Like, if we need to have a baby, like, I'm fully capable. And so anyway, she came back like on her own. Like, I didn't call her. I didn't call my midwife or whatever. She came back and I'm like on the floor and she's like, oh shoot. So she like starts like making all these calls, like telling my husband what to do, like get this, grab that, grab that, grab that. My mom would sleep on the bed, so she's like told my mom, like, Mama, you gotta wake up, you need to grab this, grab that, grab that. She had told my husband to like call my midwife or whatever. And so he texted her like, come ASAP. I don't remember if he called or text because I'm in the middle of, you know, having a baby or whatever. So I was kind of occupied, but I was down on all fours going through the contractions, and she asked me if she could check me or whatever. She asked me if she could check me, and I'm like, please don't touch down there, like, don't. And I don't think I said that, but that's what I felt like. Please don't touch anything around there. It's doing what it's doing. And so I had like, yeah, like, please don't touch it, don't touch. And I think I just said, I think that's all I said. But I really enjoyed her being my doula when she was, because like I felt like she got me. Like, I didn't really have to say much. I guess she has been through a lot of births, so I didn't really have to like explain myself too much. And I really enjoyed that about her. Like, I felt like she got me or whatever. But yeah, I was like, please don't check me. And then anyway, she like grabbed some gloves, got some tux pads or whatever, and I feel like, yeah, so I was pushing. All of this happened so fast. Like, I feel like I was pushing in the middle of her, like grabbing all of this stuff or whatever. So anyway, I'm down on all fours, like making my primal noises, and she gets down there, because I feel like if she was there or not there, like, your body will do what it's supposed to do. So thank God she was there though, because I would have been like confused at like all that was happening. And yeah, so she was like, okay. Or maybe my husband could have did it, I don't know. But thank God he knows, you know, he has a plan for everything. Like, he knows his ways are higher than our ways. So anyway, so I'm down on all fours, and he comes, my doula comes up behind me, and I guess just lifts up my skirt and sees like there's the head. So like I like pushed the head out. Like, I pushed once, the head was out, and she's like, okay, the head's out, like telling my mom, telling my husband, the head's out. And then I pushed one more time, and there she was. Oh my goodness, there she was. So like, I pushed twice and she was out. And I remember when my boys, like, they were in the birth canal for a minute. Like, I pushed a lot, and so her head like came out like fully round, and she was just perfect. But when I had pushed her out in like the position that I was in, like on all floors and on my cold tile on the bathroom floor, she was back there for a while, and she was back there with my doula, who had caught her for a minute before I actually got to like grab her, sit down, and put her on my chest. Or like, I don't even know if she was like on my chest. I just kind of like had her like this. And then I was just kind of like just on the bathroom floor, like sitting down. And then my midwife came, and my midwife kind of walked into a scene or whatever, which is why I think the rest of the story went the way it did. But anyway, I felt like fine once I pushed her out. Like, that was a big relief. even the pushing, like the contractions are intense, but once you get to the pushing and you're pushing, like I feel like that point feels good, because you know, like you are releasing something. Like it's like going to the bathroom, like taking a big poop, like you know you are releasing something, and so it feels good to that point. And I feel like the contractions are like that uncomfortable feeling, like you know you gotta go to the bathroom and you feel like you gotta go to the bathroom, but you're not on the toilet yet. And I feel like pushing is like that, pushing out a poop or whatever. So yeah, she felt like just pushing out big poop. And once I pushed out that big old poop, like whoo, I felt so good afterwards. So I like just sat down on the couch, on the I wish it was the couch, on the cold tile floor. I sat down there, and my midwife came, and she came into a scene. I'm assuming that that's her story to tell, but anyway, my doula was there, and kind of like she had it down. She did that. I thank God that my doula got there when she got there and helped me take care of birthing my baby and everything like that. So then my midwife walked in, and she kind of like started to freak out, I guess, because she knew, and I knew, like I was taking iron pills like my entire pregnancy. I've been like anemic with all of my pregnancies, and so like I had low blood, and so she was, I think that's the thought when she seen all of that blood and knowing that I have low blood, like that scared her. And so anyway, my placenta was not out yet, and like per my research and everything that I've like researched preparing for this birth, I know that your placenta can come out anywhere from 5 minutes after the birth to like 2 hours after the birth, and that range is normal. Maybe like an hour after birth. I don't know if it's an hour or 2 hours, but I know it's some time. And so my midwife was like, her placenta didn't come out like yet, like, and she's bleeding a lot. Call 911. And I'm like, what in the world? Like, I'm laying here with my baby, like, oh my God, I just had a baby. I can't believe I just did this. Oh my goodness. Like, I had a home birth. Like, check that off the books. Like, I did that. Like, so she says, call the ambulance or whatever. And I'm like, oh my God, like, am I about to die? Like, what's happening? But y'all, I felt fine. So definitely, like, trust your gut, I guess. I don't know. Like, I still don't really know, like, what would have happened if they didn't, but they, okay, so let me just continue to tell the story. But anyway, so my midwife tells my doula to give me a shot of Pitocin, and then, because I guess my doula kind of turned into a birth assistant, like after I gave birth or whatever. So so she told her to like give me a shot of Pitocin, and then she gave me some pills in my mouth too that like dissolve, and she told me to like put those under my tongue. So I did that. Well, before I know it, like the ambulance is here and the firefighters are here. I hear the sirens going and a stretcher coming into my room, and then the birth photographer got there around that time as well. And like everybody's kind of like freaking out, like what's going on. And so my midwife was down there with me, and she's like, push, try to get your placenta out, like push. And I'm like trying to push, but I'm like so exhausted. Like I'm like, I just pushed out a baby, like I'm tired. I've just had the biggest relief, and I just want to rest now. And she's like, push, like you do not want to go to the hospital, like focus, stay with me, push, try to push this placenta out. So I'm like trying to push because I do not want to go to the hospital. Like I have my hospital bags packed for like her and I, but I like still okay, of course. Who wants to, if you've planned for a home birth, you definitely don't want to go to the hospital. So anyway, I'm like trying to push this placenta out. So finally I get the placenta out, and luckily the two like EMTs, I think that's what you call them, the ambulance people, yeah, EMTs. So both of them were females, thank God. That's and they were like, hey, like if you don't need to, well, they did like a couple of things, like they checked my blood pressure and stuff, but they were like, if you don't want to go to the hospital, you got your placenta out. That's why we were called, because your placenta wasn't out yet. So since you got your placenta out, like, you don't have to go to the hospital. And my midwife, the birth photographer, like my doula, all of them have been to a lot of births. And they were like, normally when the ambulance come, like they make you go with them, and for the most part. And so they were like, the fact that you didn't have to go, like, they were just like cool with, if you want to go, you can go. If you don't, you don't have to. Like, they were like, that's a blessing that, you know, they didn't make you go, like, since everything was fine. But I felt like everything was fine from the beginning. But anyway, so I was like, okay, like that's pretty cool that they didn't make me go. And it was so funny, like the firefighters were there too, but they were just standing there like all awkward, like what in the world is going on? Like, this girl just had a baby in her bathroom. Like, I didn't care who's seen whatever, like it doesn't matter at that point. Like, I just lose all like self-respect, and everything just kind of goes out the window with like my body parts and stuff. Because I remember, I think it was my birth photographer, like, hey, do you want to cover up? Do you want to put on? So I'm like, I don't care. I do not care right now. I'm exhausted. So yeah, so the two ladies were like, we just gotta check you, but if you want to go to the hospital, you can. If you don't, like, you are welcome to stay here. And so I'm glad that I didn't have to go. I was like, that was a blessing that I did not have to go, but it was still like really traumatic, like after pushing my baby out, like having the ambulance there. So that was pretty like crazy. Like, I had created this peaceful atmosphere, and then like all of this chaos just came like rushing in, and so that was crazy. Like, yeah, thank God. Like I just feel like God has a plan for everything. Like, the people who he wanted to be there was there for the birth and the peaceful moments, and like I just feel like he has a purpose for everything. Like, everybody was meant to be there who were there for the birth, and you know, everything happened the way that it happened, and happened for a reason. And I was blessed with this beautiful baby girl, like, out of it all. So like, I'm truly grateful. I'm truly grateful. So the ambulance and everybody left, and then I got up, which was hard. Like, birth was not that bad compared to like I had pelvic pain like when I was like in my 3rd trimester, like at the very end I got pelvic pain. So I think that pelvic pain like continued to stay, and then like I don't think the best position or being on tile floors and pushing out my baby, I don't think that was like the best situation for me with my pelvic pain and everything. So like, me standing up and walking after I gave birth was like the hardest thing. Like pushing a baby out was a piece of cake compared to my leg pain after birth. So anyway, I had to like get back in the bed or whatever, and that was tough. I feel like my legs were like really swollen and stuff, so it took a couple of days for that to come down. But anyway, I got on the bed, and we like, or the midwife and the doula weighed her and made sure everything was fine with her, and they checked me, and my mom made me a meal so that I could eat before they left. And yeah, so they like pretty much just weighed her and checked her, and then my youngest came to see her after he got out of school, because this was a school day, so he got to come and meet her first, and his little reaction was so cute when he met her. And then my oldest got out of school a little later, and then he came and met her, and oh my goodness, he loves her so much. Well, they both love her so much, but my oldest is like, she has him wrapped around her finger already. Like, he loves like coming to see her every day after school. Like, some days he used to go to my in-laws after school or whatever, but he never wants to go there anymore. He just wants to come straight home every day after school now, just so he can come and give her a kiss. He likes to give her a kiss in the morning before school and give her a kiss like after he gets home from school, and he's just so sweet with her. But yeah, so my experience was so much better being at home versus being at the hospital. And like, in my opinion too, like epidural wise, I feel like epidural like takes the pain away, but the pain is still like, you're still gonna feel the aftermath of that pain once the baby comes. So I feel like this time, you know, I felt the intensity before she was born, but afterwards, like, it was such a relief. And I feel like with an epidural, it's like the pain is gone for that, for the duration of like pushing them out and like laboring or whatever. But then the pain comes rushing back in, and then you feel everything, and you feel like you got hit by a truck. But so I feel like being like unmedicated and at a home birth, I feel like it's like a euphoria that hits you, and like a huge relief that is just so nice to like cross through the finish line and feel. But yeah, so it was nice. Like, having the home birth was so nice. I was like, okay, like, I'm not even gonna lie, like, it felt like a roller coaster, and like the craziest roller coaster you could ever go on, and like, you're like, wow, that was like awesome, that was crazy, and like, I want to do that again. Like, I feel like that's the like honest truth feeling that I had. Like, wow, that's crazy. And it's so crazy, like, especially like when I tell people like, oh, I had home birth, they're like, wow, you're so brave. But like, you can do anything through Christ that strengthens you, like, seriously. And it shows you like how much you are capable of, how much your body is capable of. Like, birth is this phenomenal thing that's birthing a beautiful baby, of course, and then it just shows you how much more you can like do in your life and stuff too. Like, okay, if I got through that, if I can get through this, like, it just makes you feel like you can do anything. And so I'm so happy that I got to experience that and got to have her, and was able to see like my strength through God, of course. It's so beautiful, and it just awakens my life so much more, just knowing that I was able to do that, and like how strong I really am when I have Christ by my side and carrying me through the wave, through the storm. Like, when you fully rely on him, when you rest in him, like, there's nothing that you cannot do. Like, you can do anything. So I'm just so thankful. I'm so blessed to have had my beautiful baby girl. Look, she's up in here. She's up in here sweating. Hey, sweating, girl. Let's see the lights. But yeah, so I'm so happy to have had my beautiful baby girl. She was when she was born. She's not that anymore. She's 9, like 13 or something now. She's huge. But when she was born, she was 8'8", 8 pounds, 8 ounces, 20 inches long. So she is a big one, damn big. I'm big. She's bigger than her brothers. My oldest was 8'5", and my middle child was 8'2", and she was 8'8". So yeah, I have big babies, but yeah, my body was able to push her out. Was fully capable. But yeah, that was my birth story. Thank you so much for watching. It was healing. Just being able to talk about it and reflect on it. It was a beautiful thing. Birth is a beautiful thing. Like, I was like, oh, I was trying to like, I joke with my mom. I was like, yeah, I was trying to have like a like 4 seasons like spa birth experience, and I ended up having her in a manger. I didn't, but like, so I feel like the spa experience, like laboring, I had all of that, but like at the end I ended up pushing her out on the cold tile floor in my bathroom. Like that was like the last place. I would have put some like affirmations like on my cabinets down close by the floor or something if I knew I was gonna be giving birth down there. But yeah, you just never know. Like, you can plan all you want till the cows come home, but his plan is so much greater than our plan, and everything happens for a reason. So I'm just so thankful that she is here, that she's healthy. She's so beautiful and sweet and calm. And she just rests. If she's hungry, like that's like the only time she's upset. I'm getting like a decent amount of sleep. I feel like once you become a parent, like you stop sleeping, or your sleep goes away anyway. So like it hasn't been like too much different having a newborn, because I am a mom of 3, so you just kind of get used to it. But yeah, it's been nice. Yeah, thank you so much for watching my birth video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it inspired you. I hope it encouraged you. I'm glad that you were able to sit through it if you lasted this long. But yeah, this was healing for me. And I hope that when she's having her baby girl, she can like come back and reflect and watch it and look at it, and I can reflect back on it when I'm older too. It was healing to just come and talk about everything. Yeah. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this birthing video, my birth story. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a blessed and wonderful day. Bye.